Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Create with D. It's Wednesday, so that means we're live at 5, streaming both on Facebook and YouTube. So, hi and welcome. Here in Indiana, it's kind of another stormy kind of day. There's been tornado watches and everything. So, this past week and today, I hope everybody's staying safe and secure on that. As you come in, I'd love for you to say hi. Let me know where you're from, and if you haven't already, if please do me a favor and either my like my video, give me a thumbs up, give me some love on it, and I welcome you if you haven't already to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow my Facebook page, whichever you may find me here today. All right, well, let's get started with today's class. Today's class, we are going to do 3 cards using Lighting the Way bundle. And this is the stamp set. And I wanted just to kind of share with you that I'm using everything but 2 of these little, I guess, lights that would be behind the lightning bugs, booty on it. So if this is something that's been on your wish list, or maybe you already have it, this will show you how to use almost all of the stamps in the stamp set. All right, let's turn the camera around and we will get started with our cards here tonight. Again, give me a shout out and a hello when you come on. All right, so as mentioned, we're using Lighting the Way bundle. It's this stamp set here, and I don't have mine on a magnetic sheet, and so it's all floppy in here. But I absolutely fell in love with this bundle and the die because you get a lantern, you get all of these lightning bugs, different images. You get this one in the size that you can cut out and kind of make a, it's like, I old school, I call it punch art, but it's like, it's something that you can use your dies to create the shapes. And then you do get plenty of the little lightning bugs that you can go ahead and do stamping with. I just think that this set just totally calls for blending. So I'm going to be using blending brushes on all 3 cards and kind of show you this here. Show you the cards first and then we'll get going. So on card 1, I'm embracing, of course, you guys know I love vellum these days. So I'm going to kind of show you how you can use vellum maybe in a different way than what you've seen me use it before. And we've got this really awesome copper lantern and everything for Follow Your Dreams. This could be, for graduation and really a birthday, just whatever, but follow your dreams. This one is You're All Kinds of Wonderful. I played around with the green tones specifically to give us perhaps a masculine card option. Again, you can do birthdays or just a thank you or anything for that one. And then this one here is Thanks for Lighting the Way, a cute little thank you. All right, so we're going to get started with what I might say, I'm not going to say it's the most complicated one, but this is the one that might be a little unique for some of you. All right, let me get everything around. Local card class attendees, this is going to be our class next Tuesday, so I hope you love it. And if it's something that you want a kit to go, you would be getting materials for all 3 of these cards. So it would be 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs, and per Stampin' Up policy, no stamped images provided, but this would be the card class kit to go, and you could earn it for free with a minimum $35 order from my online store, and I'll have the links there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this one. I just had to use some of our retiring our retiring colors on this. It was some that either were some of my favorites or that I've just enjoyed all while they were available. I'm going to kind of get some of these pieces off to the side here. Try to keep it all together. All right, so what we're doing here is we're going to be building up our layer. Okay, so we're going to use this as a background so that we can see and really pop the white embossing powder that we're going to put onto the vellum. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do that stamping here first. And I might keep this down just so that we can see where we're stamping as well. All right, I do have my heat tool here. We are going to be doing some embossing. So what I like to do first is take my embossing buddy. What that does, it's kind of preps the vellum or the cardstock, whatever we're stamping. It kind of helps the powder go a little easier and brushed off. All right, so I'm going to take one of the images from the stamp set. It's this leaf image here. And I'm going to ink up using Versamark. And I'm going to have this kind of come off from the corner. And I'm lining it up here right now just so it stamps the way that I want. Alrighty. And then I'm going to stamp it again, and I'm going to give it another stamp. I'm going to kind of make this leaf a little differently than what I did on the first one. And it doesn't matter. It's like wherever you want your leaf. And then the stamp set has this little trailing image of like the fireflies light. And I'm going to have this so that the top of this kind of goes right up in the center, just to help you kind of position where you might want to put it. Alrighty. And then the last one that we're going to do is the largest of the round circle. This is going to be the glow behind the largest lightning bug's booty. And that goes right at the end of the trail. All right, so that's all of this. Yes, that's all of the Versamark that we need. All right, put that off to the side. And you can use the tray. I showed the tray of what's available. I've always just had my, my embossing powder in like to-go containers. But what I do like about the new tray is that you get all of the tools in there. You get a pincher for when you do the embossing on smaller areas that you need to hold it with, that your hands, make sure it's out of the heat way. And also you get the brush with it, as well as an embossing buddy and everything else. All right, get that out of here for now. Whoops. So here you can see it. And this is where, if you have the brush, if you see that there's any little embossing powder where you don't want it, just very carefully use the brush to wipe it off. And then it does have this grabber tool, which you can use this so beyond you're using it for heat setting. It's good for a third hand, like for tying bows and things. All right, so here comes the heat. All right, so you can see when things start to heat activate because the embossing powder changes color and it gets a real glossy look. Can you see? That's the difference on it. So that means that that heat is taking off and really making our embossing powder. Alrighty. And then every time that you use embossing powder, just do a quick check on your project that you don't see any matte or dull areas, because that means that it has not been heat activated. And when you go to touch it, it'll smear. Okay, I think we've got it. Let me just get some of this stuff out of the road. All right, so now let's bring in this sample again. You might have noticed like that there's a little bit of color on some of this. This is a technique that you can use for your embossing powder to kind of get what's called an emboss resist look to it. So I'm going to take the rich razzleberry. And you'll also want to grab a paper towel, okay? So I'm going to take the rich raspberry, and let's do these in sections. I'm going to do it from darkest ink to lightest. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add my rich raspberry right over that. Okay, we do have that one. And then we have our pale papaya. So this is a retiring color. Pale papaya is a retiring in color. And oh my goodness, I'm going to miss you, pale papaya. You are one of my favorites. And I'm going to put that on the lightning bug glow. And on purpose, I'm going kind of around and outside of it. That's very intentional. All right. And then another retiring color is Pear Pizzazz. And I'm going to use that on the green, or on the leaves. Purposely coloring and going outside of the lines. That is okay. All right, so we have that look there. I need to go grab a paper towel. So let me know in the comments if you've ever done emboss resist before. All right, so now I'm going to take a dry paper towel and I'm going to rub off the ink on the top of the embossing powder. Okay, so then it's coming off like that. And what this is doing, it's leaving the color a little bit on top of it, but not really, just kind of a hint of it. Okay, so it just leaves a little bit of a residue on it. And I'm going to go ahead and you can go ahead and press a little bit. But that's going to give that just a hint of a color, but we've took some of the color off. Now, if you wanted to leave it more intense on that, you so could do that. Put it on our background, and then this is what it's going to look like. All right, let's go ahead and close up these ink pads and move those out of the road. All right, let's go ahead and we'll finish the card now. For this card, I went ahead and kind of did a little different layout as far as the card base. On this one, I've got it cut at, the card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and we'll fold it in half and get a nice crisp edge on it. And now for the vellum, I love to use the glue dots for vellum whenever possible. And I always try to find something that's going to be covering up where the glue dot is so that you don't see the glue dot through the vellum. And let's see here, looks like I can get rid of some of that tape. All right, so I'm going to put a glue dot. This is the back side of it. So I'm going to do this. And again, just try to kind of hide that a little bit. And some people, it doesn't bother them, and that's no big deal. So however you like to do it. If you notice, I've got a little bling here, and I'm going to have some things, or the sentiment up here and something down over in this corner too. So, you know, if you feel brave and want to go ahead and put the glue dots ahead of time if you're following my design. So I've got a glue dot here. I'm going to put a gem, or I'm going to have the sentiment over here. And so that I have something up in the corner keeping the vellum down. I'm going to put another one here. I think this is the card that's, it's not complicated. It just has a few more steps to it. And then the other things are going to be right in about here. Okay. So at this point, I go ahead and place it over the rich raspberry. I don't think I told you the dimensions here on the vellum. It's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have the rich raspberry cardstock at 3 3/4 by 5. And then we'll just kind of center that. and we can put it on our card base. All right, got some liquid glue. Little goes a lot of ways. A light squeeze on it's all we need. If you got big glops, it's probably like you're probably using too much or a waste of it. Had this just a little off center, but I'm going to go ahead and go the backing on it. All right, let's go ahead and we'll finish the card with some of these fun die cuts that are part of the design or part of the bundle. All right, let me go ahead and get the goodies out of here. So again, this is what your kit would look like. I use copper, the copper sheets. I think the copper's retiring as well. And let's see here. This one is Follow Your Dreams. We'll use Rich Razzleberry. And this is on one of the circles from the, Follow Your Dreams. From the layering circles, or if you happen to have a punch, you can use that. Follow Your Dreams. Okay, that's the stamping for the outside of it. All right, so I'm going to pop this up with the dimensional. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that I do use the outer edges of my dimensionals. So I purposely did not open up a new one. All right, we're going to put this one down here first. Again, like if there's our glue dot for the vellum, we're going to cover that up so that you don't see it. All right. The next, oh shoot, what I forgot to have us do, we can lift this up. If you've got a 1-inch circle punch or any size of a circle punch, I wanted the lantern to have a glow behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch it out with a 1-inch circle punch. And I can get my blending brush that had our pale papaya on it. And I'm really going to ink it up. You could use that stamp right there too and just stamp around it if you wanted to. And we'll put that. And so this little glue dot here on the corner, you can wait till last on that if you want. But see how you can lift that up and kind of position this where you want. Okay, that needs to come down a little bit. So I'm moving it around till I get it approximately where I want. That looks good. And I'll move that for now. Little squirt of liquid glue gives me just a little wiggle room in case I put it. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, then you can put that down. And so, love that lantern. So cute, super cute. So I'm just gonna do this. Got a little liquid glue on it. There it goes. And we'll put this down and just, I put the crosshairs of the lantern right in the middle of the circle. And you can kind of see where it comes on either side of that. Try to make sure that that's straight. Okay, whoops, up a little bit and down. Cute. All right, let's put together this lightning bug. All right, so we've got the wings actually go behind it. On one of the cards, I had it on the front. I don't think that it matters because I had the vellum on it. So I'm going to go ahead, put some liquid glue, turn this upside down, and you just line up the like the body parts. They just kind of layer and you kind of know where they go. There's my, I glopped it just a little bit. And now I'm going to put the body. So this is Rich Razzleberry, Fresh Freesia, and then this is the Pale Papaya. So this little guy here, this little part, that's the end of him. And so I'll lay it upside down. And you can see here how all of those just kind of line up to the antennas. Kind of get it in anywhere in that ballpark. Look how cute he is. Hello, little lightning bug. All right, so I'm going to use some mini glue dots on him. or not mini glue dots, I'm sorry, the mini dimensionals. One would probably be okay. He's not very big. I got 2 on it. And then this is going to go right in the center. And since I didn't get quite a good contact, I'm definitely going to make sure that it's that. And then, you know, what's, what do I want to say? You've got to have a little extra sparkle here at night. So I've got some rhinestones. I'm going to add a few of them. I've got these already colored with my pale papaya blend. And we'll kind of add, and this is where you can cover up your glue dot. And put one carrot somewhere in the weeds. Okay. All right. So that's our card number 1. So a few techniques, you know, with using the vellum, you know, emboss resist. If you didn't want to do the vellum, you could just use ink on that and create this layout on just basic white paper if you'd like. All right, so that's our card number 1. Let me know if you like it. All right, our next card that we're going to do, let me see here, get this kind of out of the road here, get my station cleaned up so I can see things a little easier. All right. And I have lost the sample card already. My goodness, where did it go? Oh, here we go. All right, so on this card here, you are all kinds of wonderful. I'm going to use a little stamping and blending technique as well as coloring this up here. All right, so this one's going to go fast just because I've got a lot of it already done for us. I knew that first card had a lot of technique in it, so I wanted to make sure that I had it ready to go. All right, so this die set that I use for the labels on this one is from the All That dies. So I've got some of these 2 images here are from that set, that die set. Those are from the bundle He's the Man. Now I didn't get the stamp set, but I loved the images in the bundle. So just kind of a tip on how to do that. Let's see here. Got some of this all ready to go. Again, kind of doing a little bit of a different layout. Normally, you know, you do the 8.5 by 11, but if you like the cards to kind of stand up in a little different orientation, you can always cut your card bases at 4 1/4 by 11. All right. And let's go ahead and we'll build the card front here first. All right, now let's see. Don't think I don't have anything to clean this with in the vicinity, so I'm just going to keep stamping off of that sentiment that I inked up with the wrong color. All right, for this one, I'm going to be using the color palette of the cards are going to be Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, and Pool Party. So with the Granny Apple Green, I'm going to stamp the sentiment. Again, the sentiment is from the Lighting the Way bundle. And I'm going to stamp that just almost center, maybe just a little low. You are all kinds of wonderful. And let's have that. That's ready now. And let's go ahead and we'll build our grass. All right, for building up the grass, I'm using the 3 images, the 3 other images that are kind of the what do I want to say, the grass and the leaves and stuff on that, and then the little one as well. Okay, so those 2, this is where I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and the Garden Green on here. So let's build up our little grassy meadow here, I guess. And it's really going to be just however you want this to go. I want to have some of the higher ones off on my left-hand side. Whoops, what did I do? I grabbed Granny Apple Green. I'm going to switch this out. I want my Garden Green, I think, on the larger ones. And you can just, you know, kind of keep them all kind of going in the same direction. It's like the wind might be blowing, and I just kind of have them trailing down just a little bit. And you can make this as however you'd like to have it. And you can do just what I did here. You can mix and match the leaves with the different colors, you know, so they don't have to be quite the same. Just kind of filling in some of the grass. And again, I'm kind of intentionally going a little from high to low on that. Each time it's going to look a little different. And that's when you know that it is homemade. All right, I keep wanting to keep the Granny Apple Green open when I really want the garden green. All right, so now you have these little grassy blades here. I'm going to ink up, but I'm going to do what's called like, I'm just repeat stamping or stamping off just to get some color variation there on the grass. So I'm just kind of, you can stamp it like 3 times, 2 times, however you want it. But then this kind of gives the underlay of the grass. And then you've got the taller grass blades or weeds or flowers, I guess, going up out of that. And before I oh, nope, I don't want to use that one. Okay, hang on just a second. All right, so now we're going to get our blending brushes again. You could use your daubers. If you have sponges, you could use those, however you would like. And I'm going to get my blending brush that's for the blue tones. Okay, so I got Pool Party. And what I wanted to do is give a little hint of like the sky behind it. So again, another way of when we've got our blending brushes, we can use that. And then this is from the ribbon. Oh goodness, where did it go? It's the 3/4 inch white cotton ribbon, I think. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Anyways, that's what this is from. And just cut off a section. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of this Pool Party on it just to bring that color back into the card. All right. Now I think we got all of our pieces. Okay. On here, what I did is going to get our one of our lightning bug stamps that we're going to use. And let's see, where did you go? I can have everything out, and I don't know. I think there's always a gremlin here. The night of class, when it's time for me to do something, it just kind of goes out of my eyesight, and then it's that. Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm going to get my my garden green again. As they say, life is live. So got the garden green. And then I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green, the light blend, and that's going to be his light on the bottom. And then there's a matching die to that. And then when you're done, after you die cut it out, or you could fussy cut it, you would get that. All right, now I think I'm ready. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get this all assembled. So we'll take this was again garden green cardstock 4 1/4 by 11 folded in half. And now we're going to take a basic black layer of 4 by 5 1/4, and we'll take our piece of basic white that was cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and we'll layer that on. And we'll get that going. I haven't looked at comments lately. I'll go back and I'll try to say, hi and address everybody afterwards. Put this on like that. And then we'll layer this. Okay. Oops, get it maybe a little more centered. All right, so you can have this however that you like. What I am going to do, I'm going to angle cut this a little bit. So if you get this kit to go, you'll get about a like a 5-inch, maybe a 4.5-inch piece of ribbon per card. Just angle cut it, and you can cut it for whatever size that you want. Just kind of adds a little texture to the card, I think. So many times, you know, you've seen me use like, what do I want to say, the linen thread bows and stuff. So I was really challenging myself to not go to my go-to all the time. And so, and you can use liquid glue for this ribbon. It's pretty thick, so you're not going to see that through. So I thought, let's try a different texture on here, a different ribbon than what we normally do. All right, so now we can take our shape from the dies set that I was sharing with you. Again, that one is All That Dies. And in case you're new to card making, or you're new to the Stampin' Dimensionals, you can definitely use the edges. I know probably most of you that are watching right now, you're like, yes, Dee, we use every square little piece of that. But just in case, again, that you're new, wanted to show that you can use that. And I'm going to put that about here. And go ahead and add some dimensionals to this. While I was cutting, I should have cut more. Normally what I do is I go ahead and just, you know, cut one side at a time, or turn the corner if I know I'm going to need a little more. And I got those ready to go. Go ahead and put 3 of these little almost half dimensionals on it. Take these off. I think we're doing good. I was worried about being maybe a little too long on here, but I think this will be, I think our time will be just good. And then a dimensional for the back of our lightning bug. Again, for cards, a card kit to go, or if you're die cutting at home, like these are just the die cut images. If you notice, like, you could stamp and die cut these as well, or they're pretty much, you can use them as a standalone, which is what I wanted to do here, just to show you that you don't always have to, you know, stamp. You can use them as a standalone. And I'm just going to kind of get that going up here. On this one, I wanted to use mini dimensionals. Or you can just kind of keep cutting your dimensionals down in half if you'd like, until you get a couple, you get the size that fits. But you can get one here and one on the other leaf. Just kind of makes it nice when you have the mini dimensionals on hand as well. And just kind of pop that over top of it. And I know that some of you had taken a class of mine that you got a whole pack of these. I got a iridescent pastel gems, and I just wanted to kind of show that you can, like, go ahead and use those that you might have already had for class. Trying to like repeat some of the products used, so that if you follow me and you're getting some of the items, that you can say, gosh, I already have that. We use that in class, and I can use some of my extras. And we're just going to, feel free to kind of add those pops of color if you'd like. And let's see, go ahead and put another one of these on it. All right. So that's our second card, and kind of be ready to go for maybe the guys in your life too on it, so that it's not always so floral, which is what is kind of my go-to. Okay, that's our second card. Okay, we got one more to go at tonight's class. Hope you're having fun watching this. And maybe if you already have the bundle and haven't know exactly how to use it, hopefully this gives you lots of ideas and you can start playing around with what you've got. And if not, maybe it's something you want to get on your wish list. Okay, on the second card here, or our third card, we're using our blends again to create the background look. So we're going to start out with a piece of basic white cardstock. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And we are going to build the background scene here first. And then we'll just layer our lightning bugs and our lantern on top of it. Alrighty, for this one, we are going to use 3 different inks. We're going to use the Starry Sky, Daffodil Delight, and the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. All right, so with this, and I do need to go and find a cleaner real quickly here. Well, we're going to use the same circle that we did on our first one for embossing, and we're going to put this like here's the center, and we're going to drop down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up, and then this is going to be our lantern. Press that down. All right, I might come back over that here in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of anchor the card. And now I'm going to take my yellow or my blending brush for the yellow or the light tones. I'm going to just rub off a little bit that had the peach on it, which that wouldn't hurt it at all. What I want to do, I'm going to use this in the center, and I'm going to radiate out. And if you notice here, what makes it look really, I think, a little bit authentic is leaving a little white space around it. So that's what we're going to do when we start to blend everything. Okay, so kind of start out light. And again, we're just giving it a glow. You can see I barely started to touch it because I didn't want to have ink on it at first. Okay, love that. You could almost use that as a sunrise or a sunset on a card as well. Okay, and then now I'm going to get my Starry Sky. Get my purple dedicated blending brush. And I'm going to go to town blending all around the edges. And this is where you can start out dark. And I'm going to go relatively fast. I'm going to start on the edges, kind of circle around it. All right, and then let's see, that's my bottom. All right, so now I'm pressing hard, and I'm kind of coming in to kind of make that kind of circly around the light. Okay, so you just come in. I really wanted to hit these outer edges kind of hard because this is a nighttime sky. And you know, sometimes I think that on something like this, if you still have a blending like the sponges, I think you could almost get a smoother look to it. I was a little more careful on the first time I did it. With not trying to glop, but it's okay. It's nighttime. It might be clouds. It's different looks to it. Okay. There's no right or wrong on how much or little that you do. I would sit here and keep fussing with it if I was here on my own, but I better stop just because of time purposes. Okay, so we have that. Now what we're going to do is before we start layering things and we put it together, I'm going to add these other little lightning bugs that are in the background on it. Each of these sizes also has a die. We're not using them. We're just going to stamp it right onto the project using Tuxedo Black. Okay, so I've got one little one here. He's either just starting to grow, or he's in the background, just coming in towards the light. I'm going to put him about center. You can put the lantern on first just to kind of make sure that you can size it, but since I have my sample here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then here's the medium one. And I'm going to put one over here. And one over here. And just because I did want to make sure that each of our lightning bugs had a working little glow thing on it. You can take your Daffodil Delight blend or your Mango Melody, whichever one that you may have. Let's see, what was the light? There we go. So this is the dark, and I'm just going to color in the signaling part of our lightning bug. All right. All right, I've got that stamping done. And let's see here. Go back to like this would be what your card kit might look like. And we'll get in the other pieces here. Let's go ahead and do the stamping so we can get the ink out of sight here. So with Starry Sky, I'm going to stamp the other sentiment in there. There's 3 sentiments in the stamp set. And this one says, thanks for lighting the way. This is a 3/4 by 3 piece of basic white. I love the font on that. And then we're going to layer that on a piece of Daffodil Delight that's 1 by 3 3/4, or 3 1/4. If you get the kit to go, or you're coming to card class next Tuesday in person, PDFs are available for those that get the class. Okay, now I can get the ink out of my road. Kind of push these back up in here just a little bit. Okay, so we've got our lantern. All right, so on these lightning bugs, I'm using vellum for the wings. So again, I'm going to flip these over to the back side. And because we've got some layers going on here with the vellum, normally I would do a glue dot, but I'm going to go ahead and use the liquid glue. Got 2 wings here. One side does have texture. Hard to even see. I don't think it matters too much. But we're going to build it up just like we did before with the other one. On the first one that we did, I was just playing around with the color palette. You know, I think, well, I shouldn't say I should say I would get stuck with saying all of the lightning bugs always have to be black. But that is so not the case. This time it's going to be pretty true to nature. Again, it's easy to build up in the back because you just kind of follow the body outline. Whoops, making sure that the right sides are there. So I'm building it backwards. And then before that glue sets, I'm going to take this up, put it around like this, and put this on this way, make sure that one looks good. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's get the card base on it. As with the other ones, I've got Starry Sky cardstock, and it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And we'll go ahead and get that. We use liquid glue to put our card base on, or the layering piece. So also, if you're making this at home, not getting the kit, you know, use your colors that are close to it if you want to replicate it on it. Or even if you get the kit and you don't have Starry Sky, Night of Navy, any of your darker blues, you know, could work as well. Right, on this one, I'm going to go ahead and get the lantern down first. And just a light touch on it. I would take more time to make sure I had it good. Oh, I've lined up that little guy. He's in the background, so he needed to be up here a little bit. I should have staged this so I knew where it was. But again, I like the circle to be the main light coming right out of the middle of it. And now we'll get this dropped down just a little bit. Or straightened, I should say. All right, and then our lighting the way can go there. Let's go ahead and use our dimensionals. Again, embracing the whole sheet, including the edges. Oops, sorry, got to cut. So really maximize that. You basically get like there's quite a bit on here. I don't want to say it's, I would say another, 10% of the sheet, maybe 20 is on the edges. So don't let that go to waste, just in case you've never done that before. And grab that. Thanks for lighting the way. And we'll get some mini dimensionals for this. Let's do one in this body, for her body. If this doesn't make you want to do a campfire, think summer and think s'mores and all of that fun stuff that camping and outside around a fire pit or whatever would make you, I don't know. We're ready for spring. Okay, and that's our third card. Well, let's bring all of these cards back in here. So these are what we made here tonight, and this is what it would look like when you either take class or get a kit to go or whatever, or you can make it at home and use it as inspiration off of this free class here tonight. All right. Well, again, thanks for watching and tuning in. And again, I invite you to subscribe or follow me. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart if you liked this video. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around real quick. All right, everybody, have a great Wednesday night and happy crafting. Bye-bye.